Good day and welcome to another episode of your program Infrastructure Weekly. I am your guide Ajibola Onwuchekwa. On today's episode of the program, we'll be taking you around project sites in the power works and housing sector in Nigeria. Stay tuned after our visit after this break.
Coming together of opportunities, and this is what
infrastructure is the backbone of development, which explains the Buhari government's effort at bridging the facility gap. Infrastructure Weekly is a television package designed to bring you latest information on hundreds of development projects going on in various sectors all over the nation.
There is no state in Nigeria today where you will not see our contractors busy at work.
Power generation, rural electrification, road rehabilitations, national housing scheme, construction of roads and rail lines across the country, you name it.
We are now able to produce 7,000 megawatt of power. That is no longer debatable.
Infrastructure Weekly is Nigerians working together for a better Nigeria. So be better informed to take better informed decisions. Watch Infrastructure Weekly, showing on Channels Television Thursdays 2:30 p.m., NTA Network Wednesdays 5 p.m., and QTD News Fridays at 8 p.m. Infrastructure Weekly, making development known.
We take off today from the housing sector, where the National Housing Program has continued in several parts of the country. It's been commendation all the way for the federal government as the pilot phase of the program, with over 3,000 housing units gradually draws to a conclusion in most states of the Federation. Join us on this journey to the Delta State site of the project for an update on the projects.
A visit to the Chele Ashagba Federal Housing Project in Delta State shows the progress of works done on the site, leaving many infrastructural attendance improvements to meet up with the December mandate provided to the contractors to deliver on their project. Speaking with Court TV News on the site, the Federal Controller Housing, Architect Godwin Etebo, disclosed that the expense of land was provided by the state governor, which about 50% of the allotted land space is presently being utilized.
The land that this project is situated on is actually donated by the government of His Excellency Governor Okowa to the federal government for the purpose of the National Housing Scheme. It's actually a 10-hectare land, and just like when I took you all around, the units of buildings that you have seen so far on ground, together with the infrastructure, occupies the first phase, 5 hectares of the land that was initially donated to the federal government for the purpose of the housing scheme.
Explaining some of the partitioning and how the project was scheduled to take off, the federal controller took time to explain how the 68,000 units was planned to reduce existing housing challenges most Nigerians face in the different localities.
Let's build it now because various contractors are in headquarters pursuing their payments, following up documentation and trying to see how they can get paid. That is why there's less activity on site. And on a more serious note, the scheme, that is the National Housing Program itself, has contributed very immensely to the citizens of the country, and particularly to the debtors and those that are resident here. Because once a project is going on, it is human beings that will be used to execute the jobs, and by so doing it enhances the economic power of those that are privileged to come and work here on site. In fact, when the site was in full, the workforce capacity was well over 1,000 plus. you see, which comprises of skilled and unskilled workers. You see, so that is the little I can say for now. And agreed, we started the project for a while now, and just like one of the contractors was talking about the inconveniences of the weather or the situation of the weather. You know, when it is raining, we all know it affects the speedy works of road construction. Generally, during rainy season, road contractors don't work, and that is that. But it is my own belief that the final target will still be met.
Though the atmosphere looked almost ripe, but was left with challenges of deplorable access roads and defective electrification project, which some of the contractors on site had bite to negate the impression being created in the minds of the public.
It has been a major challenge to this construction because the weather has not been favorable at all. So now that the weather is okay, we can come back, if not for the weather. But come December 28th, this would actually go in line with the mandate for this project.
Delay we had is a promise of payment that is not fulfilled. That was why we're a little bit afraid, because we can't put our eggs in one basket. Since we started this job, I don't want to lie, I think since May, and we have no mobilization. Yeah. And we are told that we'll be mobilized. As I'm talking to you now, penny has not been given to our company. Whatever you see here is out of our own effort, just to prove to the government that we can do it, and we're ready to do it. It's just that they are not complying on their own promises. That's the challenge we have. Okay. If they comply by giving us money, less than 2 weeks, we'll hand over this project to them. Less than 2 weeks. What we have done here is about 75% completion. What is remaining now, 20%. 2 weeks is too much for me to finish this job and go away from here.
The residents in the praises commend the federal government's initiative to provide affordable houses to the low-income earners in the state. Also applauded the support the project has created to improve their income and provide employment to the youth of the community.
For government to remember this community by bringing this project for this area to be more civilized. And even people living within the area, most of them benefit from it by having or have something to engage themselves daily. Because most of them have been sitting down for months without going anywhere. But since when the job came, they engage themselves, having money to feed themselves. The government should do more. If they have the opportunity to build more than what they have built now, they should do, because it's empowerment to the youth. Instead of migrating around or they are stealing, they will come and do day job, 2 days, they collect the money to take care of themselves.
We appreciate the effort of the government of this present administration for the ongoing project in our place, giving us a secure place for us to at least, after going work, we'll make a rest, have a nice rest without being running head-to-scatter for flood and rest.
The housing unit is expected to be realized before the expiration of the present administration, with high expectation being mounted on the contractors to deliver on the mandate and as well create a robust environment instituted to reduce the United Nations ratio of housing deficit challenge most African countries are presently facing.
If you're just joining us, the program is Infrastructure Weekly. You can get involved by using any of the social media handles showing on your screen. We'll be back after this time out with more on the program. Stay tuned.
London, New York or Lagos, business or holiday, home or office. You can now carry out your tax transactions from anywhere in the world. You can now file all your tax returns, pay online, get a receipt and even process your tax clearance certificate from anywhere in the world online and in real time. All you need to do is log on to www.firs.gov.ng and click on e-services and be introduced to the world of innovation, convenience and transparency from the FIRS. You can also pay stamp duty as you register a new company with the CAC or for other transactions that require stamp duty payment online. You can also file your withholding tax returns and determine the withholding tax deducted from you is in government covers so that you can get your receipt within 45 days as long as the deduction has been remitted. Yes, all of this and more online at www.firs.gov.ng/e-services. FIRS, making tax administration as easy as ABC. Please note that all FIRS services are free of charge. This message is from the Federal Inland Revenue Service. It pays to pay your tax.
Join the conversation on social media by following and tweeting at us on Twitter at infra_weekly and on Facebook Infrastructure Weekly. Now to power sector. Since the advent of the President Muhammadu Buhari administration, a little over 3.5 years, more attention has been given and not only to expand the generation capacity with the completion of long-abandoned projects, but also expansion of transmission capacity through the Transmission Company of Nigeria. Join us as we take you through some of these efforts by the federal government.
Electricity has many uses in our day-to-day life. It is used for lighting rooms, working fans and domestic appliances, like using electrical stoves, air conditioner and more. All these provide comfort to the people. The Abuja Region Transmission Company of Nigeria, which was created under the President Muhammadu Buhari administration to tackle issues affecting the region's transmission chain of the power sector, has started yielding results as it is monitoring several increase in capacity.
The Abuja region has two sub-regions under it. We have the Abuja sub-region that operates from Apo. We have a substation there, but that's where the sub-regional office is. They cover 13 substations from that Apo Abuja sub-region. And we have a Jokuta sub-region also. A Jokuta sub-region, both sub-regions are headed by assistant general managers. So the Abuja sub-region, first and foremost, has 13 substations covering from Niger State to Nasarawa State and FCT, while Ajokuta covers our substations that are in Kogi State up to Edo State, part of Edo State.
To this end, completion of the Kukwaba 2x60 MVA /132/33 kV transmission substation and other substations in the Abuja region is a significant milestone that will facilitate improvement in the quality and quantum of electricity supply to customers. This will relieve many overloaded transformers and distribution lines in the Abuja region because the Kukwaba substation now adds additional 96 megawatt wheeling capacity to the FCT transmission line.
The 2x60 MVA substation at Kukuaba, which has given us now 96 additional megawatts within Abuja. That was commissioned 10th July last year. Then at Kefi is in Nasarawa State. We have added 1x60 MVA transformer. Each of these transformers are 132/33, so that if there's any failure, as there will always be, if there's any failure, it will not disrupt the wheeling of power to the distribution companies to distribute to the people.
Due to the freed capacity in Katampe substation and others nationwide, there will be improved quality of supply through the restoration of the protection system in 39 substations with the effective maintenance of the entire 4,048 substations in the Abuja region.
our national grid, the highest voltage is 330 kV. So every 330 kV substation is linked. All the 330 kV substations in the country are linked into a ring. So all the power stations feed into these 330 substations. And from them, you now take 132 kV lines to serve smaller areas.
If the distribution chain complements the efforts of the transmission chain, customers will begin to experience improved reliability in the supply of electricity, increased reduction in load shedding, regulated voltage, and near regular power supply.
The arrangement in the expansion plan is to put 2 by 60 MVA. Today, with the result that if one of the transformers fails, the consumers will not, the supply will not be interrupted. So one of the transformers should be able to carry the load of the whole station. So we put 2 there, so that if we should have problem with one, we can work on it without the consumers being disturbed.
The 2 by 45 MVA, those were the existing capacity here in Apo, and with the coming of the new management, they are able to add additional 100 MVA. So basically what we have now is 232 megawatts capacity from Apo here.
The Transmission Company of Nigeria also expresses its commitment to work closely with distribution companies to improve and invest in distribution infrastructure to ensure that Nigerians are well served.
The stability criteria is such that where we have need for 60 MVA capacity, we put 2 by 60 MVA, that is 2 times the capacity. Where we have need for 1 line, we put 2 lines so that we maintain the stability. So Kukuaba is 2 by 60 MVA, which is 96 megawatts. We have also commissioned Kefi substation. There's a 60 MVA at Kefi substation. I told you that our region covers up to Niger State.
The federal government is committed to improving electricity wheeling capacity as the ministry is focused on a number of policy directives to address the challenges in the sector.
These lines 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and one of them is secondary. So there are 6 of them radiating to different parts of Abuja. The feeders that are feeding from here now get better supply, better voltage and the energy. They used to be fed from Katampe and Apo, where we are coming from now. So if the distribution company play their part, then the supply will be, the people will be better served.
We have a lot of upcoming projects, as the general manager explained earlier on. The Abuja feeding scheme, where you have the transmission line that comes from Kefi and all around to Gwagwalada, with its associated substations, both 330 kV and 132 kV substations.
Some key policies of government designed to satisfy the electricity customers includes 3 important policy initiatives that are key in keeping the customer at the focal point of work. The first one is the Independent Electricity Distribution Network Regulation that is already in place. The second one is the mini grid regulation that the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission manages. The third is the policy directive issue with regard to eligible customers, which is aimed at ensuring that customers who want premium service and are prepared to pay for it are given a window to do so.
We'll be back after this break for a look at the 103-kilometer Abuja-Suleja Mina Road. Stay with us.
Coming together of opportunities And this is what
Infrastructure is the backbone of development, which explains the Buhari government's effort at bridging the facility gap. Infrastructure Weekly is a television package designed to bring you latest information on hundreds of development projects going on in various sectors all over the nation.
there is no state in Nigeria today where you will not see our contractors busy at work.
Power generation, rural electrification, road rehabilitations, national housing scheme, construction of roads and rail lines across the country, you name it.
We are now able to produce 7,000 megawatt of power. That is no longer debatable.
Infrastructure Weekly is Nigerians working together for a better Nigeria. So be better informed to take better informed decisions. Watch Infrastructure Weekly, showing on Channels Television Thursdays 2:30 p.m., NTA Network Wednesdays 5 p.m., and QTD News Fridays at 8 p.m. Infrastructure Weekly, making development known.
The Abuja-Suleja-Minna Road serves as the link between Niger State, which is the biggest state by landmass in Nigeria, and by the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. But for some time, it had been in a state of disrepair until recently. Contractors are now on site and work is on, and it has also served as another case of validation for the program of using infrastructure to create jobs, especially for artisan and other associated jobs.
For many years, motorists who use the Suleja-Minna Road in Niger State have expressed anger over the deplorable condition of the road. However, in a desperate move to ensure safety of lives, enhance socio-economic activities and reduce road accidents, the present administration awarded a contract for the reconstruction of existing carriageway and construction of a dual carriageway to meet the demands of the people.
The project is moving on. You know, initially the progress was very slow due to funding, but of recent, the Sukuk in loan intervention and federal government releasing some funds, so the project kick-started more than before. So far so good, we are moving. What stagnated us before was rain.
This project consists in the dualization of the Suleja-Minna Road from Diko Junction, which is kilometer 0, to Minna City Gate, which is kilometer 101. So the project is 101 kilometers of dual carriageway road. The existing carriageway from Diko to Minna to be rehabilitated, while a proposed carriageway, a new carriageway, second carriageway to be constructed newly.
It was a golden opportunity for road users and residents of Lambata and other communities in Niger State when the Federal Ministry of Power, Works and Housing, alongside the contractors, mobilized the site with their machines to begin work on the falling 103 kilometers of federal road that links the state capital to the federal capital. Over 1,000 people have been engaged on site since construction work started.
Say before the coming of this regime, the work is almost stopped. But when this Buhari regime come to power, they have been giving money to the contract regularly, and as they are paying, so the work is moving. We really appreciate this government.
It helped me a lot because this is the job I used to do and feed myself and feed others. Yes, and I thank God for making it possible for me to learn it and to continue helping others. I want to tell government to give to put more money so that we can continue the work to the end of the project and to get another one more.
Bashir Mohammed, a commercial motorcyclist who hails from Minna and operates the Suleja-Minna route, explains that the road was a disaster, but thanks to the present administration, life is getting better for his people.
We thank the government and everyone for this project. The project is going on smoothly.
Abiodun is also a food vendor along the road. She expresses joy that the project is boosting sales and providing money for her family.
I see the money now. Where they try the salary, they try they try my vest. So they buy and they sell for them. They see money, they train my children.
The project involves the doubling of the carriageway of the Suleja Mina Road in Niger State from the village of Bonu 40 kilometers to the town of Mina 101 kilometers extending to some 61 kilometers, and the reconstruction of the existing carriageway from the Diko Junction, which is about 101 kilometers extension. The existing road is a single 7.3 meter wide carriageway with single lanes in each direction and 2.5 hard shoulders. The existing road is a single 7.3 meter wide carriageway with single lanes in each direction and 2.1 meters hard shoulders. The project envisages the construction of a carriageway parallel to the existing one and reconstruction of the existing carriageway.
It has reached now, thanks to the intervention of the Sukuk funds, to allocating funds to Suleja Mina in 2017, at the end of 2017, has achieved a progress of 12%, 15% physical works. What has been so far done since January 2018, when the works have effectively started on the phase 2 contract, is 17 kilometers of asphalt works, which are distributed as 4 kilometers at the beginning of the project between Diko and Maje flyover, and the other 13 kilometers from Maje up to more or less 8 kilometers from Lambata town, which is one of the major towns along the corridor Suleja Mina.
Good roads improve the ability of businesses to provide goods and services and people's ability to access education, employment and services, as well as reduce the cost of transportation, including travel time, vehicle operations cost, road and parking facility cost, accident or pollution damages, which tend to increase economic productivity and development.
When you have a very good road, the transporters transporting their goods will move fine. You, who is driving your car on a good road, that money you spend to go to mechanic on a bad road, you spend it to buy some food stuff for your children, for your family. So, and then the people transporting the goods, they will move smoothly and their freight may be cheaper.
The cheering news for Nigerians who use the Suleja Mina Road is that the construction and reconstruction of the dual carriageway, when completed, will restore peace and progress to the road while ensuring reduced time travel for the people who ply that route.
That's all on this week's episode of the program. Join us again next week for another interesting package. Until then, be a good citizen by taking ownership of public utilities around you, and lastly, pay your tax. I am Ajibola Onwuchekwa. Bye for now.